Hey, what's going on YouTube? In this video, we are going to be fixing an antifreeze or coolant leak that I've got on the Z. So I've been chasing this leak for several months now, just because it's very sporadic when it would show up. There'd be a big puddle under the car, I'd clean it up, weeks would go by, not even a drip would show up, and then I'd start the car, and then maybe 2 weeks later I'd find the drip again. So it was like hit or miss when I would find it, and it was really odd when I was trying to locate it, because now that I know where it's at, what was happening was it's leaking, and I'll bring you in to a closer view, but it was leaking from the top of this radiator neck part on the 1J. It was dripping, just a drip now and then, onto a wire loom, running down the wire loom over to like the frame rail, and then it was dripping at the lowest point of the wire loom where it wraps under the frame rail, and it's dripping right there. So like where it was dripping on the ground is totally far away from where the leak was happening, which was making it hard to find. But it's funny, and I've got it found, so I'll bring you in to see that leak now. So I've obviously got the car all covered up because I've done some work already to identify the leak, but it's right there, and you can see that little drip. Hopefully you can see that little drip right there on that piece, and I've caught some in the container since like last week. But yeah, this is just part, when I get the plastic all pulled apart, you get a better idea where this is at. But it's just, there's a radiator neck that's coming from the 1J, and it comes into the top of the radiator over here. And this, I can't remember exactly what it was for, but it was some coolant port. And back in the day, several years ago, I actually filled the hole with some kind of steel epoxy or JB weld, and at the time I had limited knowledge. I don't know back then what I do now, and this was several years ago, and it's lasted, but now it looks like the material is like porous, and it's just coming through the JB weld just ever so slow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill out the JB weld material. And if you can see, this is like some kind of cast aluminum neck, but if you see there's like a metal ring inside of this cast aluminum, and I'm going to try and tap that metal ring for a bolt, and then I can thread a bolt in there. So I'm just going to take a drill bit and try and drill out the JB weld. I want to get back into the habit of just filming some of the things that I'm working on day to day, and just upload some more content, things that I'm fixing. Primarily what I've been working on is like color sanding and buffing, putting the doors together, which I'll have videos on. But just some of these small things that I've been working on, I want to film these too, because I just want to start making more content again for you guys. As of today, it is March 12th, and I plan on taking this car to its first car show in April 10th. So that's less than a month away now, and I think we can do it. I've got to get this fixed. I've got to ceramic coat it, put the side skirts on, and just do a lot of miscellaneous things to get it ready. But that's something I'm really shooting for, is to get it ready for the import face-off in St. Louis at the local drag strip. So that's one thing I'm shooting for. Hopefully I explained it already, but that ring in there, it's not very thick, that metal ring, so there's not much material to tap, but I'm gonna give it a try anyway. So I'm just gonna start sizing up some drill bits, and then we'll get going. I gotta make sure I keep the angle right, so I'm not drilling at an odd angle, because that piece kind of shoots down some. So I'm gonna get this drill bit picked, and we'll start drilling. Okay, first obstacle, none of my drills would fit between where I need to drill and the fender, so I've got air tool out. It's got a 90-degree air tool, and we're gonna try and drill it out. It's gonna be leaking. We're gonna gonna try and let this fill up and then swap them out as they need to be swapped. So I'm gonna try and drill as straight as I can. So that went a lot easier than I thought. Just a little bit of antifreeze came out, and the port is actually really clean. Since I had a really good sized drill bit, there's not really much else residue left. And whatever else that maybe I can't see, it looks pretty clean though. I'm gonna let the tap clean up. So I'm just gonna find a metric bolt. So we'll see if 8mm is just a bit big for it, because we want it to be bigger. An 8 slides in perfectly, so we can't use an 8. It's got to be a little bit bigger. So hopefully, what do I got next? A 10. Hopefully that's not too big. Looks pretty big, so I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look at it a bit closer. Okay, so I think I am going to go with the M10. I like how it fit in there, so I got a 10mm by pitch 1.5, and I just bought a tap and die kit the other week on Amazon, and it's coming in pretty handy. So I've already kind of looked, and here is this side, M10 1.5. So I just like to thread this on. So on this thing it says M10 1.5. I just like to thread it in there just to double check I didn't misplace a bolt or something. And you can see it's threading in pretty nicely, pretty much all the way through. So now I will grab the tap. It should be maybe here, and on here it says M10 by 1.5. So 1.5 is the thread pitch, M10 is the size. So we're going to go ahead and tap that hole with this tap. So that tap wouldn't thread in to the hole that was there, and of course it wasn't the right size. So I just Googled what size tap for a 10mm hole, and what I found was 11/32. So I took that size drill bit and I drilled that hole to be the right size. So now I should be able to thread in the tap. Alright, so that didn't really go as planned. I did have an idea that this was going to happen, that little compression sleeve, because I had to make that hole a bit bigger, it was going to do this. So I kind of had in the back of my head this would happen, so not too upset about it. But now I just need to go one size bigger in my bolt, and now it's just this I guess cast aluminum hole here. So I'm going to go ahead and thread this the next size up, which is a 12mm. So hopefully I've got a 12 millimeter tap. I think I do. So we'll go ahead and tap this the next size up, and we'll be tapping right into the cast aluminum here. Glad it came out now and not like while I was threading the bolt in, getting the bolt tight, or it came loose later down the road or started leaking. So this isn't the worst thing to happen. So we'll go ahead and start getting this tapped. We'll make sure that this diameter hole is the right size for a 12 millimeter, and we'll start getting it tapped. Well, that went pretty good. Hopefully the camera, I can get it to pick up those threads in there. But they came out pretty nice. Threaded it all the way to the back. And I think because this port is angled down and it does still have fluid coming out, I think it really reduced any shavings that might have got into the cooling system. So I think we're good. Now I have a bolt. Got this bolt. It's a little bit too long though, because I don't want it to go in through the water neck. I know this plastic is kind of in the way, but it's kind of too long. That would kind of be taking up half of that water passageway. So I'm going to cut that bolt down probably a little bit more than half. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take a flat block with maybe some like 220. A flat hard block, and go across the face of this just to make it as smooth and as flat as possible, so that this bolt can sit flush up against this. So not only hopefully does it seal at the threads with some thread tape, that the washer actually threads and seals up against the face of this piece. And I'll put some silicone there too, so we got multiple areas where it should keep the water in the cooling system. All right, so I've got all of this cleaned up now. I've got all of the antifreeze cleaned up out of the engine bay. Spent a lot of time cleaning that up and what made it to the floor. I also got the bolt cut down to size and added a little black paint to the end of it. And now it's time to get it threaded in there. But also what I'm waiting for is a nylon washer for this 10 millimeter bolt that I'm going to put on that would seal it up against this flat surface. And I'm waiting for that. It's supposed to be delivered here tomorrow by Amazon. So I will see you tomorrow when that comes in. All right, so I've got the bolt wrapped with thread tape now, and some gasket maker around the plastic washer that's on there. So we can thread it in now. Now this gasket maker wants you to tighten it up until it starts to ooze out, wait an hour, and then tighten back down to torque specs. And then it needs to cure for 24 hours. So in an hour, I'm gonna finish tightening this, in 24 hours, we will go ahead and fill this back up with radiator fluid. It's the next day. I've filled the radiator back up with radiator fluid, so that's all topped off, and now don't see any leaks so far, but we're going to start the car up, let it run for a while, get the thermostat to open, let it run through, and check for any leaks. Alright, we've been running for like 5 minutes now. This car takes a long time to actually get up to temperature, which is a good thing. The fans just haven't even kicked on yet. But we're sitting a little bit above 185 around it. And I've been feeling the lower radiator hose. It got hot, so we know it's circulating now, and there's no leaks at our fitting. So we're doing pretty good. Alright, well that wraps it up for this video. It doesn't have any leaks around the fitting that we put in, so only time will tell if it eventually starts leaking, but right now it's not leaking, so I am happy with the fix. Other than that, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I've got several more videos planned and coming up. Got to get this car ready for the car show. I just wanted to go to the car show to begin with. And it's like 30 bucks to get in and to have your car in there, and then it's like 35 to have it judged. So I'll just pay the extra $5 to have it judged, but really I'm not into the whole judging process, you know. I'm not big on competitions with cars. I didn't build this car to like win competitions or anything, so whatever happens happens. I'm not worried about it, but just since it is just like $5 more, I might as well just pay for it. So whatever happens happens. I'm not looking for a first place finish or anything, just to see what happens, and just to have fun, go and have fun and make it the first car show since it's been painted, and I don't know, several years in the making. So it'll be pretty exciting, and I don't know, a big weight off my shoulders to finally have this car done, you know. So all right, I'll see you in the next one.